Okay, guys. So as I explained, we have learned about all types of NATs, I guess. Okay. So now, before going, guys, I think I have explained the dynamic NAT. Okay, but before going, I want to explain about the dynamic NAT. Okay, guys. So what is dynamic NAT? So okay, so I think I've explained it, but make sure, guys, dynamic NAT is not much in fashion. Why? Because I'll let you know. Okay, and it is also unidirectional. Okay, and it is very much costlier. I'll explain it why. So let's see what is dynamic NAT. As we name, we can suggest dynamic. It is also dynamic. Okay, it's not static. So like we have a firewall. Okay, we have a firewall here, and it is internet. Okay, and we have this is outside zone, and this is inside zone. Fine. And suppose, guys, the scenarios is like we have a five users. Okay, we have a five user, only five user. Okay, guys. So that particular five user, it could be some that user CEO level of a user. Okay, type C, like a CEO, CO. Those are highly VIP class user. So suppose we have a five users. Okay, that also belongs to my inside zone. 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, guys. 1 2 3 4 5, and the IP of those five PCs 10.0.0.1, 10.0.0.2, 10.0.0.3, 10.0.0.4, and likewise 10.0.0.5. Okay, so make sure what we need to understand that. So this is the IP of these users. Okay, and the condition is these all PC want to go, these all user want to access internet. That's fine, but I want to send these five user via dynamic net. Okay, I want to send this five user to internet via dynamic net. But we know that for local PC, for local IP, going to the internet, it's required to convert or translate into some public IP. So we are not using here static or dynamic NAT, nothing. We are only using here dynamic NAT in condition. So dynamic NAT, what would happen? It's a pool of, as I explained, dynamic NAT is some kind of pool of IP, pool of IPs. Okay, so like suppose we have a five user and we have only three pool of IP, three pool of IP. We have only three pools of IP. Okay, we have only three public IP. It means we have only three public IP. Got it, guys? So first is 1.1.1.1, second is 2.2.2.2, and this one is third 3.3. Only we have a three public IP, and I want these five users to go to the internet. So I've already explained that dynamic NAT is a first come first serve, first come first serve. Like it follow the policy first come first serve. What is first come first serve? It means whoever come, who any of the user want to go first to internet. So whenever he will initiate a traffic, okay, it will get the IP from the pool, public IP, and then it will go to the internet. That's fine. So suppose first user initiated traffic, he get this IP 1.1.1, and that guy went to the internet. That's fine. Then suppose second user came, okay, he want to also get want to go to the internet. Then this IP 2.2 is assigned to him, and this user is able to go to the internet. That's fine. Then third user came, and so the only available IP he also got assigned, and again he's able to go to the internet. Okay, so now there is a no available IP, nothing. But if after that, if any of the user would come, any of the user would come to go to the internet, what would happen? He will not get any IP, because in the pool there is a no available IP. So definitely, whenever if he initiated traffic for the internet, the traffic would come to the firewall. Firewall think that there is a no available IP, so his traffic would not go to the, he will not able to go to the internet. So it would be discarded. Why? Because there is a no any available IP, no any public available IP. Okay, so it means that if any of the previous user who is using the previous public IP, if anyone would disconnect their connection, so then any of the public IP would made available, then only it will assign to whoever the next user. Okay, so that's the actually function of dynamic NAT. That is clear, guys? Any doubt of the dynamic NAT? That in dynamic NAT we have some kinds of pool. In this pool we have added some public IP. Okay, so whoever user, if we have a multiple user, so whoever come first, that available public IP would assign to him, and he will able to get the internet. So if all are the IPs are full or engaged, so the rest of the user, whatever the rest of the user, how many rest of the user, I don't know, whatever it is, they would not be able to go to the internet, because there is a no available IP. That's clear, guys? If the IP would be available in the pool, then only they would be able to go to the internet. That is clear. Okay, so let's see how we can demonstrate in the lab. Okay, and we will see how we can configure in the lab. Okay, so in the NAT policy, we have already created the NAT policy for the dynamic pack. Okay, that is clear. We are not going to touch that. We are going to now configure the. Okay, so here, just give any dynamic NAT policy. Okay, now I have explained everything. What is tag? What is descriptions? What is NAT type? We are using IPv4. Okay, I have explained all of these things. Now come to the original package. Okay, so now here in the condition, Like suppose, because I'm supposing everything, okay, here for this dynamic NAT, okay, let's come to the example. Like we are following the example here for this. So like in our source IP, okay, the source IP is the source zone first. Source zone, suppose, okay, is inside, okay, and source IP would be 10.0.0.1, 10.0.0.2, 10.0.0.3, 10.0.0.4. I will take this 4 IP, okay, as source. And destination zone, as we know, it's outside, okay. And destination, obvious, there is no destination IP because I'll explain later on. So this is first, these are my source IP. And what is my NAT IP? This is for the translated. And for my translated source NAT IP, source NAT IP means the public IP. So source NAT IP, like I have taken the 4 IP here as a local IP, private IP, and like I have taken these 3 IP as a public IP. That's it, for example, for creating the rule. So how we can create the rule, okay? So for the dynamic NAT, okay, so the zone, okay, so in the original packet we have to decide, so from which zone your traffic is initiating. So here we can give the according to the zone whenever you are configuring. So here we can give example like source zone is inside, okay, the destination zone where you want to forward the traffic, okay, so definitely you want to go outside. Destination interface, okay, there's a no doubt interface, it should be the outside Ethernet, whatever the interface which is connected with the outside interface. So Ethernet 1/2 is connected with my outside interface, okay. The services, guys, always remember it is going to the internet, so it could be it is using any services. Anyway, we can, it's all depend according to the requirement. You can even select the services, but here I'm keeping as any. The source address, okay, so it is the original packet, guys. The source address, as I've explained, I'm going to use a 4 IP of 10.0.0.1, okay, fine. Then 10.0.0.2, okay, then 10.0.0.3, fine. Then 10.0.0.4, okay. So I have taken this 4 IP as a source address. So source address, either we can give IP, okay, either we can give a subnet. We can. So as for the internet, it is going to the internet, okay. So we can keep destination address as a any. But if you know the destination IP, we can add it. Specific IP addresses, subnet, whatever it is, if you know, we can add it here, right? There is no confusion. That is clear, guys. Okay. Now come to the translated packet. That is very important. So now which translation type we are going to use? Very simple. The NATing in the Palo Alto is very, very simple. Okay. Dynamic IP and port I have already explained. It's very simple in our previous class. Now we are going to use dynamic IP. Dynamic IP is nothing. It's a dynamic NAT. Okay, guys. So dynamic IP is the dynamic NAT in the Palo Alto. So what we are going to use? Translated packet, dynamic NAT. So see that this is the pool. It means here we can add, see that advanced dynamic IP and port fallback, whatever it is. So we can add, if you click on add, so like I have given an example, like we can add how many public IP you have. So always remember, public IP is very, very costly. Okay. I will ask the questions at the last. I will give you some, scenarios about the all 3 NAT. So that will be our last in the last. So just learn how we can configure it. So here you can add whatever the group of IPs, pool of, there we can, it's a pool where we can mention the public IP. Okay. So like I have assigned these 3 public IP. Okay. So whenever these source, okay, these are the source, whenever they go outside, they will NAT to this public IP all the time as a source NAT. Okay. Then only able to go according to, I'm sorry, according to this example I have taken. Okay. So that's how we can configure it. Okay, guys. Just there's one more option is there for advanced. So that is something different. Okay. So this is the pool which I'm talking about. This is the pool IP. There we can add a public IP. That's it. Okay. Nothing. This is the way we can configure the dynamic NAT. Okay. So like these are the 4 source IP. Whenever they go outside, whenever it will NAT it to these 3 IP 11111 222 323. So that is how we can configure the NAT policy. Very simple. Anyway, so this NAT policy is not going to demonstrate here because here we are using something else, okay, as for the public, but on for the how we can configure it, I've shown you. Okay, I've taken this example. Okay, so this is what for the NAT policy. Okay, so now how we can configure the static NAT. So for static NAT, I have already explained what is static NAT. Static NAT is 1-to-1, like it is binding one IP, like any IP 1.1.1. It is binding to any of the public IP, like 4.4.4.4. Any example, okay? It is binding together. No one gonna use these public IP. Only this IP is going to use this IP. Okay, like best friend, like marriage, whatever it is, we can. It's binding together. Okay, dynamic PAT and dynamic NAT are part of source NAT. Okay, static NAT is a bidirectional. Okay, so it's required, like it's a part of all 3. I've explained, right? Like a source NAT event, destination NAT event, even the price NATing also. Okay, it's part of everything. So like in the destination, so this IP is NATing with is a binding together. It's a 1-to-1 NATing. So like in the, like if you have example of 10.1.1.1, this is my source IP. Okay, okay, this is my source IP, and it is NATed to, it's a source NAT IP 4.4.4.4. Okay, it is NAT. And if it is going to the some public IP like google.com, okay, that's a destination IP. And definitely the destination we are not going to change here. Okay, so destination NAT IP, like translated NAT IP, is the same, google.com. Okay, so leave it this part. So it means static NAT. What I want to explain, that static NAT is a one-to-one NATing, and it is bi-directional. Even from the outside, we can initiate a connection. So like this is my firewall, okay, and this is internet, and there is I have one of the PC, okay, and we have a one server at anywhere like a DMZ anywhere, okay. And this PC has IP of 10.1.1.1, and this PC has IP of like it's a 5.5.5.5, for example, okay. And if suppose, okay, the two scenarios I'm giving, guys, okay, I want that even anyone can initiate a connection, okay. In this kind of scenarios, anyone can initiate a connection. Either this PC can initiate a connection, okay, or either even this PC can initiate a connection. So in that kind of scenarios, it's required static NAT, guys, okay. As I explained, dynamic PAT and dynamic NAT both are unidirectional, okay. Means it's only initiate connection from inside zone, okay, from the inside only. But for the static NAT, from the outside even can initiate a connection, okay. But in the VPN, why VPN is required to NATing? Why? I'm asking. This traffic is not going by the VPN, just simply going normally. If someone in the office, okay, this PC is sitting, this guy is sitting in the office. Whenever this guy want to access internet or any of the user, he can come, even he can use it, okay. Even from the outside, someone can try to access this server, even he can access it, okay. So that is not going by the tunnel. Even in the tunnel, actually, there is NATing is not required, okay. Not 90% not required. There's just some conditions that is required. Which condition is it required? Okay, just try to understand. Okay, in a VPN, if I will explain, okay, because some student would get confused. Let it be. If the subnet on both sides would be the same, that time you have to do the NATing. Just remember. So this is not a VPN tunnel. So the thing is that if this is the IP, it could be a source, it could be a destination. Means it could be an initiator, it could be a responder. This kind of scenarios, like any of the users, like this PC1 or PC2, anyone can initiate a traffic. Guys, always remember the word initiator and responder. In the firewall, in the security, domain, always need to be. If you're giving interview, if you're saying anything or explaining anything, you always need to be very much, technical, or using this word, initiator and responder. So in these scenarios, if anyone, like even the PC1, even the PC2, anyone can initiate a traffic. Okay, if your requirement is that even from the outside network, can someone initiate a traffic to your inside network or DMZ network, whatever it is, in this kind of scenarios, okay, you can require static NAT. Guys, see that here, if you have a one server, okay, this is one server, and the requirement is that PC1 has IP of 10.1.1.1, and this PC only, specifically this PC only can want to access this 55555, okay. He want to access, and also even this PC2 also want to access this, like from the both sides, for the both sides, okay, connection can be initiated. So this kind of scenarios will require static NAT. So why it is bidirectional? That's why I'm saying it is bidirectional. It means, what is the meaning of bidirectional? It means if traffic only initiating from the one way, like one way means like PC1. Let's see here, guys. PC1, this is PC2. If traffic only initiating from the one way, that is called unidirectional. Okay, guys, that is called unidirectional. Okay. Unidirectional means what? Only one way. Traffic only can initiate from the PC1, not from the PC2. But if any condition, if traffic can initiate even from the PC1 to 2 or PC2 to 1, both sides, that is called bidirectional. Got it, guys? Okay. I'm all the time I'm using a word, initiating a traffic. So see that example. Okay, this is PC1. I'm sorry. Okay, if you want to put firewall in between, okay, that's fine. Just putting it. So this is PC2. If this PC1 is the initiator, always remember this word. If this PC is the initiator, okay, he is the initiator. So he will get a reply from PC2. Reply. It's only replied. So it doesn't mean that the traffic is bidirectional. No, that's the unidirectional only, guys. Okay, why? Because this PC2 can never initiate a traffic. Never. Bidirectional, where we can say that, where both one can be the initiator. Anyone can initiate a traffic. Only there is a PC1 can, like I am only can speak. Like I'm saying anything, whatever. So I'm initiator. You guys not. But even if the both sides can speak together, if even you like, I can only say hi to you, hi. But you guys never. You guys will reply to my hi. Okay. So that is called one way. Only the traffic will just, guys, always please try to understand these things. What is unidirectional? What is bidirectional? So if like this PC1 can only initiate a traffic all the time, but yes, he will reply to this. It doesn't mean that if it is replied this request, it doesn't mean that it is initiating. It is replying to this traffic, right? Just first try to understand what is unidirectional. Okay.